The reality, I would say, is very different from the shots you see on TV. It is a million times worse. The way I like to describe it to people is like you just had a hurricane. Because I'm from Texas, I can talk about hurricanes. Imagine a hurricane hit a city, and then a major earthquake hit it again, followed by a tsunami. This is the reality on the ground in Gaza. If you visit Khan Yunis, like how we did in the past couple of days, actually we are in Khan Yunis, I'm between Khan Yunis and Rafah. We went and visited Khan Yunis, and it's just unbelievable. While looking at the destroyed buildings, I kept asking myself, how can you create and make such destruction in such a record time? The level of terror at night was unbearable for any member of my team. I have 12 Americans, 3 Brits, 1 from Egypt and 1 from Oman, and we've all decided collectively that we're not going to spend the time any nights in this house anymore, even though we did not receive any evacuation orders, and we all basically came to the European hospital, and that's where we're staying since then.
Israel insists that it's getting humanitarian aid through, including medical supplies. What is your experience of that? Are you getting these medical supplies?
Unfortunately not. I can tell you, my team at times feels useless. Sometimes you have an injury coming to the emergency room, and you look for basic supplies, as simple as anesthesia medications. You don't have them. Blood, you don't have it. Basic wound care supplies, you don't have it. And one thing, Piers, that really struck everybody on the team is that the Palestinians seem to operate at a frequency that's different from the emergency teams in the West. It's basically rationing of resources. Tell you how reality is on the ground. We had to run from our safe house that's no longer safe, literally under the bombardment of the Israeli army. We just gathered our stuff and ran out of this house, which is a typical Palestinian experience. We did it twice. Our presence and our stay here in Gaza, the Palestinians have done it more than 7 or 8 times in the past 7 months. And when they get to Al-Mawasi, it's a desert. It's really a sandy land, empty land, where people carry their belongings on the back of a car or a truck or a donkey. They just dump it there, and they start figuring out what's next. First, no water. You don't have tents because the supplies are not allowed in. And so they have to figure out how to create a shelter. And the problem is, if to buy a tent in Gaza today costs more than $1,000 to $2,000. For them to go get fresh water, they have sometimes to walk to 2 to 3 miles to find it. And if they find it, sometimes they have to pay for it. And it's very expensive. So things have gone 10 and 15 times in price, almost in everything in Gaza. Just to give you a simple example. For my team, for us to fill our cars with gasoline, with gas, 1 gallon of gas in Gaza cost $100. This is what we pay as an organization, $100 per gallon of gas. Apply this to everything. I don't like to describe this as a war. I like to describe it as madness.